Let's go back to Standard & Poor's. Why are they out there alone right now with this downgrade? Why isn't D&B and some of these other rating firms, why aren't they getting involved in this?
Because they want to infect only one.
Okay.
You know, what's going to happen, and you could, this is like clockwork. I know how, you know, in order to understand these people, you have to understand the criminal mind. And obviously I'm pretty good. I should have been a detective.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is what they're going to do. They're going to come up with bigger cuts than they proposed before. And so Standard & Poor's will not lower the rating again. And it'll just pass. And then Standard & Poor's will suddenly discover that things are getting better. And they're going to move the downgrade back up again to where they were before. This is the game that they're going to play. In spite of all the crap that's going on, when everything is going down the chute, they're going to do it anyway. These people are arrogant. They don't care what you think. There's no logic. There's no control. There's no law. There's no constitution. They do anything they want. And that's why there's going to be revolution.
I fear the day. Now let's talk about, real quickly, Dominic Strauss-Kahn was acquitted of all crimes this morning, or the charges were dismissed. I remember on the last show we had you and I had a brief tete-a-tete about that. I don't understand, I guess, why he's considered to be a good guy in some circles.
Well, he is part of the Illuminati and an integral part of it. And they have disagreements over things all the time. And he said that we should use the SDR, and we should also stop the United States and Great Britain and others from looting third world countries via the World Bank and the IMF and so on, particularly the IMF.
That for decades. Why would he suggest stopping that? Isn't that a very lucrative thing for the Illuminati?
Well, it is, but he says you have to have a social conscience. He's a criminal that has a
criminal
good side.
with a social conscience?
Yeah, that's right.
Huh. Okay.
Such creatures exist, believe me.
Right.
You know what it's called?
So if he's such a good guy with a social conscience, why is he raping a barmaid? Or
I don't think he raped that woman.
Okay.
This thing was all set up.
Okay.
But these people are all sociopaths.
So in other words,
most of them are psychopaths.
Powers that be were setting him up to remove him from the IMF because he had a social conscience.
Exactly.
Okay.
And, you know, Mr. Strauss-Kahn, we can't tolerate that, even though you're one of the top people in the Illuminati. Uh-huh. And they kill their own, incidentally.
Oh,
this is mafia. This is just a big, very, very expensive mafia.
Right.
They do have a conscience, but it's
there's a code. There's still a code among some of them, I guess.
You know, several years ago, they evolved a Rothschild who was not interested in being in the financial world, and they made him take over in the financial world, and he wouldn't do what the family told him to do. He said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And so he was found. He supposedly committed suicide in the Bristol Hotel.
Right. I remember hearing that.
In London and in Paris. Incidentally, I used to stay there all the time.
That was only, about half a dozen years ago, right?
That's right. And incidentally, about the Bristol, they're French racists. And the only way you can get in there is if you're connected, if you're a foreigner. And hardly any foreigners are ever allowed in that hotel. It's French. And we get in because we knew one of the top politicians in the country very, very well, Jean-Marie Le Pen.
Yes.
And his daughter now is in Congress and has been for years.
Right.
And I knew her as a teenager. And I was a very good friend of theirs. And I haven't seen him for many years. But that's how I get into the Bristol. Anyway, and they do speak English there as well. But that's a hotel he was in. He had a suite there. And they murdered him. So they do their own.
Would that have been the Nathan Rothschild line, or do you know?
I have to go look it back up again.
Right.
I'm running a piece in today's issue on it by Henry Menkow.
Oh, it's in
there. There's
a
link there. It's under Europe. Go look for it.
All right, I will, definitely. Okay, great. Well, we're running out of time again. Bob, quickly tell everyone how they can get the International Forecaster and what they should do right now, short term, in order to preserve wealth. Let's get both of those topics covered.
Well, the only place that's safe is gold and silver, coins, bullion, and shares. Nothing else is. If you've got money to invest, that's where you should be, and I'll give you information on how to do that.
This is Cumberland Mills Free Radio, 88.1 FM, giving parts of Westbrook a different voice.